Kiwis can now order alcohol from their local bottle shop on Uber, and there's some real concern. It's going to be launched in Auckland this week and then Christchurch and Wellington to follow. There is some criticism. Among those is the Chief Executive Officer at Hape Te Hora, Sela Hart, who joins us now. Hello, Sela.
Hello.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
So great to talk with you. Thanks for coming on the show. Obviously, I think I'm aware of some of your concerns, but can you expand on them? What are you most concerned about with this Uber delivery service?
I think what we're really, really worried about is, first and foremost, is this company contributing in the best way possible to the well-being of society? I would say no. Secondly, how are they ensuring through this, that they've obviously seen a gap in the market, and that's what businesses have had to do because of COVID. I absolutely understand that. But have they given their Uber drivers, as a first, sort of engagement process, have they given them the training and the skills that they need to actually be able to firstly identify if they were providing alcohol to a heavily intoxicated person? Would that be safe to do so? Do they know how to, I suppose, manage that? As well as, are there mechanisms of safety that are going to ensure we aren't putting easily accessible alcohol into the hands of the younger generation?
Now, one of the things about it that I must say, when we looked at it, exactly that point about we try to put ourselves in the shoes, if you like, of an Uber driver who goes to a big party, there's a lot of young people there, and they are possibly intoxicated, and therefore, in a bar, for example, they would not be served, hopefully, if the rules are followed. It would be very difficult for an Uber driver, we felt, to say to somebody, "No, listen, I'm sorry, I've got all the alcohol in the car, but you can't have it because I believe you're intoxicated."
I just don't know whether Uber Eats have actually thought that far through. And what I'm really concerned about is not only the harm, alcohol is by far our most harmful legal drug available in New Zealand, so let's just park that there. But secondly, how are we ensuring that, we've seen many different occasions where harm has been experienced by delivery drivers, not of alcohol products. So imagine adding fuel to the fire, adding an alcohol product to potentially a household or a place that might have intoxicated people. There's so many unknowns in this situation that I just don't know where the moral compass of Uber Eats is sitting on this. Are they putting profit before people? Notwithstanding, there is the direct impacts and effects, and I'm not taking away anyone's personal choice to drink. That is absolutely not what I'm here to talk about. But what I'm really worried about is the consequential outcomes that could come from servicing, easy access to alcohol for those that might be underage, might be already heavily intoxicated. What does that actually look like? And are we setting this, this potential service or delivery service up to be really impactful in a harmful way, not only for those individuals choosing to drink, but those that are going to then be the deliverers of those products?
Now, Hape Te Hora is Māori Public Health, so I'm presuming with your organisation, I've just been surfing you, and obviously you're really at the coalface there. You see a lot of the distraction with alcohol. Do you think this is just going to... there are services available that already do deliveries, aren't there?
Yeah, so it's not a new thing. I think what it's adding onto is another layer of saturation of alcohol, easy alcohol availability.
Yeah.
I suppose what we can target the end user, and we can also talk about individual and personal responsibility and all those things. But what is really fundamental in all of this, we've got a Sale and Supply of Alcohol Act that is currently, in our mind, overdue and needs to be worked on. We need some government action around addressing the significant harms of our hazardous drinking culture in New Zealand. Is this another thing that's just slipped through because there is no real pressure being applied to the industry? The industry is a big beast. We are a very small, publicly funded public health service that, have to try and battle these big uphill battles against big, huge corporate organisations that have the means to, get a better structure for their business, get better outcomes, financially. But at the end of the day, how are we really checking ourselves and contributing to a better society for New Zealand? Adding another access point for alcohol is not one of those things.
Right. And lastly, before we let you go, because there's a text here that says, for heaven's sake, alcohol is not the worst drug. Meth is obviously the worst drug. says this.
Yeah, so the most harmful legal drug, I was very sure to say that. So we know absolutely
Correct,
there
yeah.
is an atrocious amount of harm from illegal drugs.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other issue that I could, debate on for a good hour.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is a legal,
Right.
easily accessible product that, seeps its way through all levels of society.
Yeah.
I think what we're worried about, and where the worry sits with us, is you're taking alcohol to the doors of communities that are already saturated with alcohol availability. There is no potential protection of those individuals purchasing or those supplying it that are going to keep everyone safe. And it's just a really hazardous equation that we're worried about.
Very good.
Very fair. Sela, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really nice to chat. Sela Hart from Hapai Tohu Ora.